you know, crazy stuff. So just an overview. Um, the last episode ended with the possible death of Strahd. They saw a spirit in mist form like burn up with the use of the Sunblade. So hope he's dead. Cross your fingers, guys. And that was kind of it. Like we ended it pretty late, so that's kind of how we had to end it. The last part was that Drizzlejaw didn't die on his death saving throw that he could have died on. He seemed sad about it. The ultimate gambler, and you guys also killed the elf man that seemed to be working for Strahd, who also slaughtered like every were-raven with you, and only 2 of the werewolves survived. Luckily, one of those is Jace's dad. Jace won't be here today. I'll be kind of like, making sure that he rolls need or greed on magic items that you find. And eventually he'll be back next time. So that was the only thing. He's mainly not going to fight a lot. In fact, I forgot I put him up here, so now he's this guy. A human person, human-looking person again. So, our intros today are with the role-playing question, what is your most frightening current or reoccurring dream for your character? So since Jace isn't here, Colin's mouth is full. He's chewing. We'll see if he's clear yet in a second. Colin, who are you? Hmm. Barovia. Hmm. So, people that have been watching before might be drawing some conclusions. Yeah, just random people walking down the street. Got some guys like, you want ice cream? And you're like, here's your ice cream. Stab, 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 stab. I have not seen that. All right, Andy, who are you? Yeah. Yeah, so when you just a little bit of backstory, when you came to the east, which is what you called the middle continent that everybody's on right now, of the 3 continents, no one knew what a Lilithid really was. Nobody's ever heard of them. And you don't know that name really. You just know what they look like. Squidmen. For all the audience that doesn't know what a Lilith is, we don't know right now. They're mysterious. Yeah. Like if you went to like a regular library, you would find almost no information about them in this world. You would have to look long and hard to find anything about them. They do look like Cthulhu monsters. That's the main thing I guess you got to know. less snippy claws though. You just keep reliving that moment. Okay. What about Chris? Who are you, Chris? So morbid. Okay. There you go. All right, Britt, who are you? Ah, less less mental issues than the rest of the party for sure. All right, and and Alex, who are you? Hated on because you were different physically. Ah, angry Dragonboard man. Got it. All right. So we, sorry, Jace is the other character, the werewolf man who's not here. We just saved his dad. I don't want to speak for him, but a reoccurring dream of his might be not finding his father. Can't escape it. All right. So, Strahd has been defeated. It looked like his magical armor suit guys that were the bane of your existence last two episodes did fall apart when he was killed. You seem to have killed one of the last people alive to defend him, or last creatures. So, what do you do now? Well, there was two suits of armor that collapsed, but that was it. Are you going to search the castle, or is that 16 just going to be like your general search the castle? So Strahd is literally just a pile of dust and like fine clothes. He didn't have any magical items at all. Or any like no other items except for his clothing really like survived. Remember, he all he did was like slash at you with his claws and like use vampire powers. He did not. What you're hoping is he exploded into a big giant castle that's been unlooted. Loot the elf dude. Okay, so the elf dude has leather armor that's a little torn to shreds and a scimitar, and he has three more of those darts he was throwing at people that if you were one of the people hit by them, you're pretty sure they're poisoned. Three more, so three poison darts. You throw them. They stick in people. Correct. For yes, it looks like this poison dart has like some type of like um almost like a needle and a syringe. There's a poison visible in like a little vial in the front of it. So when you hit people with it, it injects that poison and then it's used up. Are you looting them? Scimitar, yeah, it's just a scimitar. It's nothing like special. No, not that you can sense when you handle it. But the three poison darts, not magical darts. Sorry. Um, they do standard dart damage, which is 1d4 plus dex damage, and you use your dex to hit with for you. They are a monk weapon, so you can use them with like your flurry of blows. You could throw three at once or something like that. The poison is if you hit, they do plus 2d4 poison damage. Just damage, nothing, no other effects or saves. It's just a poison that hurts you, like a bee sting. All right. So again, we can do this two different ways. You can loot the castle with a general investigation check, or you can try to search the castle. I'm not necessarily like, oh man, you have to go search everywhere in this castle right now. But at the very least, you might find more stuff if you were to search through like all the floors because you haven't even gone to the top floor yet. I pulled you out of the castle to the courtyard, just so you know. I just pulled everybody to the courtyard. It's like after the fight ended. Can we take a rest? Drizzlejaw asks on the death's door. Or are we doing this like video game style where since you leveled, you're just automatically at full health with full spells? And as the experience of killing the monster Strahd, the vampire lord, hits you and fills you with knowledge, you also regain all your health and spells. Ah, so like Birdman, like the power of the sun. And you're just like healed and empowered. That I like that. It's probably true too, considering it's the first time you've seen sun in what seems like probably more than a week or two. Okay, so Jace is talking to his father, which I probably should have like human forms for these guys, but I don't. So they're just going to continue to be werewolves on the map. And they look like they go and kind of like watch the gate to make sure like people don't just like come in the castle or more wolves don't come to like help. Your character's not on the screen. Did you walk off the screen? You did. It was only close. Yeah, you're literally right there. So, are y'all going to? What do you want to do? How do we want to handle this? Good. So that's the 16 investigation roll, not the 2 investigation roll? Okay, so with a 16 investigation roll on the first floor, roll a 1d10. Just Brit. So Brit, you found a potion that your detect magic can see is a some type of like magical potion. Like it was just in kind of a bottle hidden in this room. Right there. If you go, it's on the second floor to the like south where that iron suit guy is. Right here, going there. Can you see that green square? I can't remember if I hit it on the other thing. Okay, it's on the GM thing then. But yes, the room that I revealed deeper in there, it was just like kind of with like some other crap. And you notice that it was glowing, and it is a potion of fire breath. And you'll have to like write that down and look up what it does. I don't have that right in front of me. Since it's a pretty simple thing to look up. So, is everyone else searching the second floor right now? A 0. So you're pretty sure that this is some type of stone structure, and there are many rooms. So Torin, with his 7 investigation, you find about 6 gold worth of coins, as far as you can tell. And Drizzlejaw finds 3 coins worth of gold. Not sure if the transaction ratio is the same though, because they are Strahd gold, which are like a little thinner but a little bigger. They're Strahd bucks. Yeah, they're like it's gold, but like are they the same as like a gold from like other places? You're not really sure. Anybody else looking through the first floor? I guess. So you want to look for his rooms or whatever? I know, but do you want to literally move your guy through and have me reveal things, or do you want to just roll? Okay. So, um, you kind of figure out through investigating the area that you went through before that had like an armory in it and stuff like that may have been a knight's quarters or something like that. Um, and that was kind of like the lower part of it, and that there may be some more knight stuff above that. If you went farther in, you did find earlier some sections of the kitchen, and mhm, the rest of the bottom one just looks like apartments for maybe like ladies in waiting or maybe the knight's wives or something like that. In a hallway over here though is a peasant man who just is like scared, hiding in like a closet between like the different servants like exits and entrances. And when you approach him, he is very afraid. It was just a general, like as you guys are walking around searching for stuff. Yeah. Jace is with Colin. Ah. Uh, yeah, yeah. Uh, I'll do whatever you want. I'll pay extra taxes. Uh, uh, right now, I they already took all my money. Uh, is this a trick? I feel like they asked me that. They told me that the other day. They said that the sun was out, and then they took me outside, and then I cried a little bit, and they brought me back in here. He walks out into the sunlight and blinks at it like it's just a shock. Like, and then he just runs out of the whole castle. What'd you say? You thought about killing him or looting him? You were? Yeah, you're a bad person. So it looks like your character is actually going to the second floor, Andy. So that stairway goes to the second floor, and it's actually revealed already if you bring yourself up. So it looks like Xerxes and Drizzle have like decided to search a little bit harder on the second floor since you guys are still here. It goes up. Okay, so over here there was some more like just general rooms and things like that. There was one room, if you can see it, it had two of the armor suits that had like collapsed over. They were possibly alive before. There's a rug on the ground that seems to have unraveled itself. As in, huh? Yeah, and there's two of those paintings, and they have the people that were painted in them, like kind of like upstairs. Their pictures are gone. But it looked like some type of like official room or something like that. And the only thing you really find in there is that stuff, like collapsed armor suits, unraveled rugs, paintings that don't have people painted in them. Like maybe the magic has left this place. Okay, so Colin and Jace are going into the knight's quarters. So to the second floor. Okay, so in the second floor, where you also saw another knight guy up there when you guys scouted before. Oh, you put him on top of you. There we go. If you went up the stairs, then yes. So the armor in the corner is not collapsed. It's just sitting there like a, armor suit that, is in castles sometimes. So it is plate mail, but it looks like old and like untinted, like maybe like some rust on it and things like that. I don't know if you'd say it's better. You have plate, right? Pretty sure we use like all your beginning money to do that. All of your beginning money was used for plate, I'm pretty sure. That's why you have an 18 armor class. There is not, except for like magic stuff. And that's what happens when you spend all your money early on to get plate. You over leveled your armor, and now you gotta do other stuff. So there is some rooms in here. Do you guys want to investigate those rooms? What did you find? I already told you what you found. Just give me a second. Okay, so Jace is pretty uninterested in this room. He kind of glances around. He's like, I don't see anything great in here. Dang. So you do found about 10 gold worth of monies and things. Okay, there is a higher level to the knight's quarters. Okay. So there's one more floor up. Here. Where Jace is. But before we do that, Andy, so you come up this thing and you come upon a very similar area to where you guys were originally started your fight on the second floor. The first time you attacked the castle. It's a long hallway that goes off towards the front of the castle and then to the back of the castle. I mean, there's a door to a bigger part of the castle, or these rooms, possibly here, or maybe a stairwell here. The knight's quarter. How about you just make an investigation check? Oh, okay, sorry. That's all the orcs. So you search what looks like a bunch of like quarters, like maybe servants' quarters and things like that. With a 16, you need to roll a 1d10. So you find what appears to be some type of magic potion too, like stuffed underneath a bed or something. And it's actually labeled. It says the potion of giant strength. All right. People on the bottom floor, what are you doing? Oh, like the bottom floor? Okay, so there was only one area that you guys hadn't unlocked. It was still locked, and there was another area that had the things in it. I think we just said it was really bad. You broke like your lockpick in it. I accidentally just showed it, but it's just kind of like a storeroom. But if you can do an investigation check, you may find something down there that he didn't find originally. Okay, so you actually find a loose brick, and when you start to move the loose brick, a secret passageway opens, and it leads you into some type of crypt. A bunch of live vampires is what I was thinking. So in the crypt, if you just kind of like use your 18 investigation to look through it, there seems to be about 40 like crypts of medium size. Like essentially it's a long hallway with all these crypts along the sides, and there's a couple like empty crypts and things that just have open doors. To investigate like all of them, you'd have to like start to like actually investigate them. Some of them may like say stuff on the names. Like if you are walking past Crypt 5, it says Artank Swilovich, friend and member of Bavarian Wine Distillers Guild. And then, huh? You want to look at that one? Oh. Ooh. So when you walk in, it smells like almost like wine in the room. And there's a skeleton draped in rags that they lie atop a marble slab in the center of the crypt. If heaped all around the crypt and covering the entire floor are thousands of empty wine bottles. Correct. Okay, we'll come back to your crypt robbing in a second. Drizzlejaw, what are you doing? The stairs that you're right next to. Okay, so you go up here without showing too much of the castle. Oh yeah. Do you need me to move you? Is that what you're waiting on? You're right there. Just scroll up. It's very simple. You just scroll up, find the part of the castle that you were in before. So do you want to roll investigation now? So with a 14 investigation, you find about 50 gold while searching through the rooms. It seems to be some sort of like, again, like an extension of the ladies' quarters down below. There's like a sitting room and a parlor and a piano and things like that. And then as you're looking around, you notice that other than going up again, farther into the what should be, I guess you guess, the ladies' area, there's not really a way out except to go back down to the courtyard. So that's a stairway down to the courtyard. So that's it's like a couple different like things. Some of them look like they might be even older than Strahd, or at least older than, like, the last couple hundred years. They'll be worth about 50 gold though. You don't have to like write it down differently. Okay, good. Someone can question you about your money later. So anything else you want to do, or do you want to keep going up? Okay, so if you keep going up, you end up here. And do you want to do another investigation check? Holy gajolies. Actually, what you find tucked into what seems to be like a hidden compartment in one of the desks or like bedside tables is a wand of wonder. So a wand of wonder is a golden wand that has a bunch of gemstones stuck all over it, including some that are like sticking out of it, almost like branches of a tree, but they don't stick out very far. They stick out only like an inch or two. You can look it up to see exactly what it does. Well, actually, don't do that. It'll be more fun this way. Essentially, it's a wand that has, like, someone has harnessed like the chaos of chaos magic into it. It has 7 charges. While holding it, you can use your action to use a charge, and you can choose any target within 120 feet of you. The target can be a creature, an object, or a point in space, and then you roll a d100 to consult the following table to discover what happens. If the effect casts a spell from the wand, the DC is 15. If the spell normally has a range expressed in feet, its range becomes 120 feet if it wasn't already. And if it affects an area, it centers on whatever person or item or space that you had determined. And well, I probably don't want you to go look up what's in it. You just need to know it's kind of like a wild magic table, but there's exactly. There are more bad effects than good effects though, like by like 60 or 70% bad. So it's probably not the best thing to use on allies to like, I'm gonna try to like use something good. Oh yeah? Do it. Roll a d100. Okay. So on you, centered on you, in this small area that you're in, a stinking cloud appears, filling like the whole third floor's ladies' quarters. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw. So you failed. So you spend the next half a minute just retching and throwing up like everything in your stomach before it starts to a little dissipate. The wand does recharge 1d6 plus 1 charges a day at dawn. Yeah, so it has 7 charges. Now you have 6 charges. And every day you do that. The only problem is if you expend the last charge, you roll a d20, and on a 1 on that d20, it crumbles into dust and all of its magic has been used up. 1d6 plus 1. So you can get all 7 charges back in one day. It only has a maximum of 7, though. But if you use all 7 charges or all the charges you have for that day, you have to roll the 1d20, and there's a 5% chance it just crumbles into dust. Make sure you write down DC 15 for spells. Okay. Actually, you can look this up, but I don't want you to like be telling other people what it does, because I don't want to have this thing saved on my shit all the time. Have to look it up. You look it up. We'll just say that you've experimented with it quite a bit. Okay, so you're done searching those apartments. Did we search the 3rd level with you yet, Colin? No, you didn't. You guys, so you and Jace are gonna investigate the 3rd floor of the Knight's Quarters. Holy shit. So roll a 1d10. Dang. Like a child. So you see what appears to be like a potion bottle underneath a bed, and as you climb down on your hands and knees to get to that potion bottle and you pull it out, you can see that it's a potion of climbing. And right before you turn away to get up, you see the glint of metal. Something wrapped in a sheet has a metal end sticking out of it underneath the bed. And as you reach in and pull it out, it's a magical halberd, +1 halberd. Campaign over, guys. We completed the mission. That's what. That's it. You're like, I'm out of this castle. I'm done with this shit. All right. So yeah, you have a potion of climbing and a +1 magical halberd. Yeah, delete the healing scroll. Okay, so we'll go back to who have we not done? Torn. Yeah, Torn, and next will be Wu-Tang. So Torn, what are you doing right here? You're searching these rooms that you're kind of in? So you're on the 3rd level. This is where you guys started fighting that group of vampires and the elf guy. You did end up going up to the 4th floor as well, but this is like the main fighting area that you guys fought in. There are 3 doors, though, deeper into the castle, similar to where in the 2nd level you found that room of like what appeared to be magical traps that like fell apart. No, so this is a different area. Roll your investigation. Oh yeah, I forgot you're in the car. We've got Mobile D Dean from the road. Oh shit, with an 18. Okay, so as you search through there, that appears to be not like peasants' quarters, but like maybe visiting nobility or something like that. Like there's a little bit more room. Maybe not visiting nobility, but maybe like visiting like diplomats or something. There is a small chapel that seems like kind of wrecked. There's a mannequin that normally you'd hang like armor on and stuff like that in front of the thing right here in the little chapel. And it's like all scarred up and like daggers are stabbed in it and stuff like that. Like they were practicing like throwing it at like a fake preacher or something. You kind of think like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like somebody's using that guy up there like the preacher for target practice. And then roll 2d10. So a 4 and a 1. So you find a potion hidden in one of those rooms underneath the mattress. Just put it on your phone or something. You find a potion of silence. To where if you drink it, all of a sudden you magically don't make sound anymore. Yeah, it's not like a 20-foot silence that moves around, I don't think. It's like the silence spell, but it only affects you. Yeah. Like everything you do makes no sound. And then you also find uh underneath actually there's a weapons rack right there. And what at first appears to be some of a broken sword, when as you investigate it further, because with your 18 investigation, you feel like this isn't just some regular sword. So it looks like maybe like a bastard sword or a great sword that was broken. And that's what first caught your eye. It just looked like a broken sword that was really nicely made. But as you handle it, it definitely appears to be, you know, more than the average fine weapon. Um, the hilt is wrapped in like a black like leather. It has a nice golden like handguard. It widens pretty wide at the bottom and then goes into a normal blade, but the blade has been broken. Also on the hilt, there's a fist at the bottom. The bottom of the hilt is a fist pointing downwards, like it's gonna like if you slammed the hilt down on somebody, it would be like that fist punching them. And then next to it, not as nice in the handle, like a lower tier leather, um, and a more well, not like poorly made. It's good. It's well made. It's just not as ornate as the handle of the large sword. It appears like someone's made a hilt and attached the broken blade that was broken off the sword and made like a short like dagger or short sword out of it. And so the one would act like a short sword and then the other one acts like a dagger. And they're you'll have to like investigate them more to find out more about them. But they do appear, at least with your handling, that they are magical. Both of them. A broken sword. Yep. So if you guys rest later on, you can find more about it. And I have the stuff for it, so I can give it to you later. Okay, Andy. You found that stuff in there. Where are you going? What are you doing? On the third level, yeah. The third level's been searched out. Okay, so the fourth level is the area where you guys fought the elf guy and got really annoyed because you like made the wall and he teleported through everything. There's a large door right here that y'all never went through. And then there's the area over here that you found like the armor suits. Those armor suits are collapsed. This hallway, the armor suits are collapsed. And with your investigation check, you find what appears to be like actual like visiting nobility quarters or minor noble quarters or something like that. And roll a d10. 6. So you find a pair of boots in one of the armoires. And they have embroidery on them like birds of a feather, like they almost like they're feathered. You know what I mean? Like almost like scales, but it's feathers instead. So it's like it would be like a snakeskin boot, but it's a feather skin boot. Yeah. Oh, there they are. Okay, I lost them for a second. So they have some feather embroidery and stuff like that. They actually tie up your legs, and on the bottom of their foot is a teal green, like glowing feather embroidered in with some teal stuff. And they are feather step boots. You have to attune to them, which I'll have to look later at like how many things you've attuned because there's a limit to it. But you can walk across surfaces as if you're as light as a feather. You can cross surfaces without leaving tracks. You can stand and move on any liquid surface. You can also move across pressure plates and things like that for traps, and they don't actually activate. Because you only give the pressure on the ground as much as a feather. Also, at will, as a bonus action, you can cast Featherfall as per the spell. So you can jump off like a cliff, and then as you fall, activate that, and you just fall to the ground perfectly fine. If you are conscious, and you can use a bonus action to either before you jump off or while you're falling. So you'd either have to fall so far that you have like a bonus action to do it. It doesn't it's not a reaction action. So like if somebody throws you off a cliff, you better hope that cliff is far enough down that you can activate it in time. Or you have to activate it previously to like jumping off yourself. It doesn't read your mind and say like, "Oh yeah, stop." Yeah, just that special ability stuff. And I'll send you something in Discord that shows that stuff. That's like a post about it. Okay. Next up. Down at the bottom, Crypt Boy. You want to search some more crypts? Yes, please. Which crypts would you like to search? There's 40 crypts, and then after all 40 crypts, it seems to open up into like the tombs. Yeah, so the tombs look like they might be like from like the Verovich like family tombs. Okay. So what you find is there's one tomb has a portcullis that closes it, and you'd have to like somehow open that portcullis to get in. And any markings that showed who lived in that tomb have been destroyed. It looks intentionally. On that, it's just a regular like non-magical portcullis. But you can see through it though that there's white marble steps that descend to a tomb that has vaulted ceiling 30 feet high. There's a calm in it that almost feels like the calm of like a coming storm or like the eye of a storm. In the center of the tomb, there's a white marble slab that supports an intricately carved coffin, and chiseled into the slab is a name. With the 17th investigation, you can see the name. It says Sergei von Verovich. And then to the north, behind the coffin, there are 3 alcoves, and they're beautifully carved statues in each alcove. A stunning man flanked by 2 angels, looking as if they were polished and as new as the day they were placed there out of marble. And an iron level protrudes from the south wall, to the west of the tomb's interest. You would have to try to like lift it. Not that you could see. Particularly strong. Yeah, it would be a strength check. Dang. Well, technically there's no critting on ability checks, but I'm gonna say that's enough, even though that doesn't actually like make it. So that with every bit of strength that in you, you barely raise it enough that you think that you could like it actually clicks like it gets stuck. It doesn't go all the way up, but you think you could like roll underneath it, and it seems stuck enough that it may not close on you if you go in. Okay. So as you go in, there's that coffin, and that's pretty much it. Other than the beautiful statues of this man and two angels. What's your alignment? Okay. So if you try to open this, it is a very heavy like opening. Like the top of the thing is made of marble, so it's very heavy. You'd have to make a strength check. So no. So this is too hard for you to open at this point. There is the lever in the corner too. So the lever, as you pull it, the portcullis behind you becomes unstuck, and it raises all the way up. I knew it all along. So do you want to look at any of the other ones? Yeah, there are other tombs. So there's another tomb opposite it that's made out of. It has also a heavy portcullis blocking it. That would probably take another amazing Olympian feat of strength to open. And inside of it is black marble steps that descend to a dark tomb with a vaulted ceiling 30 feet overhead, and the essence of evil permeates in the very air. It smells like freshly turned earth, like a fine, deep red wine with like a earthy taste to it, like leaves you like there's dirt in my mouth. Um, the coffin's fittings are brilliant brass, and the lid is cracked down the middle. South of the coffee is three gloomy alcoves. An eye level protrudes from the north wall, and inside there used to be three statues similarly mirroring the other room, but all the statues have been destroyed. Yeah, there's a lever back in there. Yeah, the lasso, dexterity. That would be a dexterity check to try to lasso the thing through the wall, through the portcullis. It slips off. Okay, well, we're going to have to come back to you then. Drizzle you're in the ladies' room and it's something fierce stinkiness. What are you doing? We'll assume you go down out of that area to this other floor again. What are you doing now? Recovering? So you're going outside again? That's out here, down below. So you're going to go down here again to this room. That's exactly what I just did with you. Hate you. We're skipping your turn because of your shenanigans. On the fourth floor, Torin, there's still like a giant room that no one searched yet. Do you want to search that, or do you want to go upstairs again? Okay. So that giant room looks like to be some type of like lounge area. It actually has a fountain. You're like, how is the water being pumped up to the fourth floor? Like it has a working fountain in the middle of the room. There's pillows strewn about where someone could rest and entertain. High nobility. It looks like the room's been recently used. It has like food spilled about and wine spilled on the floor a little bit. Some of the like cushions are smushed and stuff like that. Okay. When did you get inspiration? mm, I'll allow it because there's not really anything in this room. So yeah, you find like 10 gold. Any, Anything else? So you're going to the fifth floor. All the floors of the castle. So you come up here and it's another similar shaped room. You can see like the castle really is like mirrored floors on top of each other. Um, so there seems to be some type of rooms to the one side, and then there is another like large doored room to the north, or in this case, the east, or whatever it is. The west. Okay. So this large room, roll investigation. So what you see is that just a large room. It has a pentagram and sigils uh, like paint on the floor. There is it's a two-story room, and it looks like the throne room of whoever would be here. Don't keep rolling investigations. Oh, okay. You just looked harder. There is a pedestal in front of a throne that doesn't look like it's used a ton, and on the pedestal is a heart-shaped, or what used to be heart-shaped, like solid, like crystal or like ruby or something like that, and it has been like shattered, and it's in like a little like pillow, like it held some type of like place of honor, and it's been shattered. Mm-hmm. So right in front of the throne, there was some type of like raised pedestal with like a pillow, like a like you see, where they might bring like the crown to somebody, but it's got this crystal heart that seems to have broken apart, and you can feel like a lingering magic there. Yeah, like it's shattered. Nah, it's not your turn anymore. Colin hasn't gone in a while. Let's call him in. For a library. So there's a square tower in the hallway that you guys went in, and on one of the higher levels before it becomes like kind of like weirdly, like it used to be like a guard tower, obviously, but it's been turned into like a library. Okay. And with the 15 investigation, okay, so you find a couple books that may have some type of clues, but you'll have to like read them over like the next couple weeks. Yeah, but you find like 3 books that could relate to that. Okay. Wu-Tang, what are you doing? Oh, you're going up to the 5th floor. Give me an investigation check. Dang, finally. So give me a d10. So 16 lets you get a d10. 2! 2! So you find a number of different rooms that could be used for different things. It looks like probably like Strahd's quarters. There's actually like a stone bath and like a garden on a balcony and stuff like that. Like, or at least like whoever rules the castle's rooms. It's like the master suite. And there is a sword on like a pedestal thing. And the sword has a hilt. It's a great sword with its hilt is graced with 2 intricately called swooping silver wings as the handguard. And on the blade, you see the word Talon finely engraved with decorative swirls as it's written on the blade. It's a +1 greatsword. And additionally, once per long rest, when grasping the hilt, you can speak a trigger word and cast the fly spell on yourself. But it only lasts 5 turns. Sell it. The salesman, the magical item salesman. He uses them at disadvantage because he doesn't have proficiency, but he still uses them. Especially a great sword. You know, this is like the type of great sword that's like probably like 6 or 7 feet long, and Drizzle's only 3 feet tall. So actually, yes, it says once per long rest while grasping the hilt in 1 or 2 hands, and the spell ends if your hand loses contact with the sword. True. Yeah, it would be like a high level thing. Like it's pretty high level to like take a magic item and somehow like transmorph it into like another magic item or like combine magic items or anything like that. That's like a really high level thing. But it's not impossible. Drizzlejaw, are you doing anything? Okay. The 2 on the 5th level, there is a 6th level. It's pretty clear to Alex that the part of the 6th level is just like an upper like balcony around the throne room. But there is another area possibly above the master suite. I'm just kidding. It's a rooftop. It's just a rooftop. We don't need to worry about that. Back to the crypts. Crypts, crypts, crypts. Crypts, what are you doing, Crypts? Still, oh, lasso! You just lassoed the shit out of that. So, as you lasso that and pull it, the portcullis raises. Ooh. So what you found was, um, There's actually 3 wooden coffins to like the side, like out of view if you hadn't gone through the portcullis. But they're just wooden. They're leaned up against the wall. And since you have detect magic available, there are actually the eastern and western alcoves that used to be part of the statues are glowing with strong auras of conjuration magic, and the central alcove is non-magical. So there's one on the eastern side and one on the western side. Western? So you like just check it out, or you like trying to like step into where like the statue was? Okay, so just looking at it, looks like an alcove that a statue used to be in, and it's all broken and like shattered on the ground. And there's no magic emanating from that. It's just the alcove itself that's emanating magic. It's conjuration magic, so it could be a trap. It could summon something, or it could like possibly even like summon you somewhere. Same aura and stuff, yes. And then there's also the tomb, but you haven't tried to open it. The tomb, the big tomb. What the hell? Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, yeah, drink check. So that actually moves the top of the tomb, and it is cracked. So what you find inside is the entombed, the not entombed, but it is entombed, I guess. The remains of what looks to be a very degraded body of the man that you knew as Strad Vedverovich. Like this is his tomb, and the body does not seem to have any type of life in it anymore. And then make an investigation check. Ooh. So you see he has on like some attire like of his station that you didn't see on him previously. So he does have like a crown, and the crown would be worth like a lot of money. Other than that, you don't really see anything else in there. No. And you're now cursed. What's the crown from Divinity? Just like set you on fire. Okay, people in the top levels. It looks like you've searched pretty much everywhere. Are you coming down? Okay, so everybody's in the courtyard now except for Britt. Britt, what are you doing? Are you still searching more tombs? You're gonna leave the crypt? There was a bigger tomb besides those two, and there's all the crypts. Colin been in what room? No. I mean, you can. So you go and get Colin. Colin's there. We did it. Crystal heart that's been shattered. Yeah, you can investigate each. It seems to be some type of magic circle, either used for like teleporting or summoning something. It appears like it may have been magical to begin with, but it's broken. You're unsure what kind of magic it would have been. Drizzle Jaw. Are you going to get Drizzle Jaw next? The gambler. I killed live evil things, not inanimate evil things. That's true. Okay. So everyone is back in the courtyard except for possibly Xerxes. Xerxes, what are you doing? Are you going to tell anybody else about the crypts, or are you just like, crypts, whatever? I guess the question more is if you're going to search crypts or if you're going to tell other people that there's crypts to search. Well, you couldn't open the one Sergei's tomb. And you did a pretty poor job of searching Strahd's tomb. So there is a whole nother big tomb that's like the ending tomb. So these tombs were on like the side walls, and there's a tomb like straight ahead that's the biggest. Okay. So there's a soft blue like curtain that's flowing that you have to pass through to get to that like tomb. So okay, it didn't do anything. But the tomb rests in a hushed silence. There's tall stained glass windows dominating the eastern walls, and you're like, where are these windows like looking upon? Because we're underground in a tomb. But apparently there's windows and there's some type of like light coming through. Um, the one against the north wall is marked King Berov von Verovich, and the one against the south wall is marked Queen Rovania van Royen. And the vaulted ceiling 30 feet overhead is inlaid with a beautiful gold mosaic. Hello? I hear a video or something. um, yeah, so there's just some, tombs, I guess. Later. And so you head out. So what's everybody else doing in the courtyard? Jace is talking to his dad. I don't see you in the courtyard, so I don't know. Where are you? No, you're not. That's a good question. Colin's now in the courtyard. Let me see if I can find him. I think I've lost Andy too. Did you move yourself down? Okay. Yeah, I don't see you. Oh, I see him. Okay, I got him. Okay, now you're back in there. So you can make a perception check to see if you see him. So no, you don't see him. Jace also doesn't see him, even though he had advantage. Okay. So everybody's back. Jace, did anybody find any gold? Well, it doesn't say you make no noise. You don't leave any tracks, though. Okay. So Jace comes over after talking from his dad, and Jace kind of explains that he feels like his dad should go back and talk to the werewolves and see what they're going to do next, because they've always been like trapped in this land. But were allowed to leave at times, and they have heard, so they kind of know more about the outside world than anybody but like the Vistani, because they have been allowed to leave a little bit. But most of what they know, is murder and death in the outside world. They don't really know, like they don't like go talk to people that much. So they're gonna go see what's gonna happen, because with Strahd not here to be their allied, they might not be safe here anymore. This was always kind of like their hideout. So they may leave this land, and so his dad and this guy are leaving to figure out what they're gonna do next. Good night. Oh yeah, sorry. I told everybody else what their stuff did, but I didn't tell you. So somebody else looks at it and tells you what it does. So there's the short sword, which is called the Short Bastard. It's a +1 short sword. Uh, and if you hit a giant with it, the giant takes 2d6 extra damage from it. It has to make a strength saving throw of 15 or fall prone. Extra damage to giants at a 15 DC strength saving throw or fall prone. So the dagger is made from the broken end of the short bastard sword, and it gives you +1 attack and damage rolls. And if you attack a large creature or larger with it that has at least one leg and you roll a critical hit, you can sever one of its tendons, and its speed is reduced by half. It's called Ankle Biter. And again, it would be very hard, but there may be a way to somehow find someone that could put them back together into the greatsword that they used to be. But you may not want to do that. But it's Short Bastard and Ankle Biter. Okay. What else? So y'all are gonna head out of here? Oh, you went back and found your comma? The one thing that y'all didn't find while searching the castle, at least so far, is the body of Bastion the Warforged. It was not in the courtyard when you came back. You do not. So that large Warforged body is gone when you arrived again and like fought your big epic fight, and it's nowhere in the castle that you can find either. Later in the show, he comes back. So the next time somebody dies, you're Bastion now. Zatostra was eaten. Or was he? Zatos did nothing wrong? Okay. Alright. So, as you guys are talking about what you're talking about, the light has like filled the whole thing. You hear something that you haven't heard since entering Barovia, and it's laughter. And down the road, down the path away from the castle, if you go to look, which Jace will, because story. Coming out of the like 100 to 200 yards, whatever we decided it was, away, like the woods, as they like the road comes up out of the woods into the castle area, is Father Lucian and I I like looked up her name earlier and I totally forgot her name again. The girl. I forgot her name again. I can't remember if it's Tatiana or if that's like the one that she might be from the past. Irina. It's Irina. Irina. Yeah, Tatiana's the dead lady that she resembles. So Father Lucian Petrovich and Irina are walking up the way, and they're with another man that you guys recognize, which is Donovich. He wasn't like a father, like a priest, but he was like some sort of clergyman from the Barovia chapel, and with him looks like a young man, like in his early teens, and they're all walking and laughing together, like enjoying the sunlight and stuff like that. And Colin, make a perception check for Leark. Oh, that's a pretty good roll. So you see the resemblance between Donovich and this young man. That they look like they could be related. And they see Jace in the way over there, and they don't recognize him, so they're like unsure what to do. And they also see Drizzlejaw, who they also don't recognize and don't know what to think. They're like, who are these men over here? Put the wands down, guys. um so Donovich with a huge smile on his face, he's just like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know if it was you or if it was Lathanthor, the Morning Lord, like giving my son rebirth, but something happened last night. And when the sun came up, my son, like I could tell something was changed about him. And again, you know, I kind of threw caution to the wind and I reopened the tomb, and he was no longer a monster. So thank you so much for what you've done for us. And the father is like, oh yeah, Father Lucian. He's like, oh, there's so much that's happened. Like maybe we can go inside and we can talk about it. And Irina, you can see a safe. I can hear something in the background. Just whoever has something on. Oh, it might be your radio or something in your car. Okay. So you don't need to worry about the grid right now. You guys kind of go into like there's the ladies' apartments on the first floor. There's like a round table if you guys want to sit or whatever. But um, that's in the top floor, the ladies' tower. So as you guys are walking towards this room, Irina turns to like this lone tree in the courtyard, and the sun seems to be shining like exceptionally bright on that tree. And she starts to like walk as if she like sees something over there, and like the light starts to grow as she gets closer. And if you're watching her, like you can't even like really look, and like in a flash, there's a very handsome young man who Xerxes recognizes, and he like almost steps like out of the light, and she kind of like blinks her eyes a little bit, and all of a sudden there's like a recognition on her face, and she like runs to him and they embrace in this little grassy hill area right here, a grassy tree area. And she turns around and she sees y'all's confusion, and she's like, I remember everything now. Like, I am Irina, but I'm also Tatiana. Like, my soul's been trapped in this terrible loop in this world, and I've been imprisoned with Strahd this entire time. Um, and you finally like lifted the curse, and the handsome man is like, I thank you for freeing my land, like that my brother, cursed. And they turn around and start to like walk off the castle wall, like, and they step up into the clouds and they just disappear into the light. And and Donovich is like crying anew, like holding his son. And Father Lucian just like makes the sign of the Morning Lord, where he does like a star, like with his hand. And he says, "Oh, just one other miracle that's happened, like thanks to you." And he still leads you into the room to talk. What creepy cleric guy? You don't know any creepy cleric guys. You don't know any creepy cleric guys. So if y'all sit down with Father Lucian, he starts to tell you a tale of the town of Vallaki, and how the Baron was killed by a mob, and like he knows that you guys knew about that, and that the lady Fiona Watcher had taken over. But then it seems like some of the peasantry had rose up against her and her thugs, and they slaughtered her at her house and killed a bunch of the cultists. and how and how the town was like reeling and didn't know who to follow anymore. They didn't have a leader. But when the light came out today, they all showed up at the chapel, and they decided that for now, Father Lucian should lead them. And he wasn't sure what was going to happen in the future, because he doesn't have any like legal right to rule here. Not to mention the fact that the legal right to rule is like it's like a thing again. Like it seems like we might be a part of the real world again. So he doesn't know what's going to happen, but he did want to come and tell y'all what had happened in his area, and thank you. And then, sorry, excuse me. He does say, but there is one bad news to that. As I was talking to some of the town folk about how it must mean that Strahd is dead, and that I would go and investigate, hoping to find you here. I didn't mention you, but obviously most of the peasantry knows at least of you now. You've left an impression on everyone you've met. But when they brought up who could possibly lead us in the future, it was talked about that you might be seen as outlaws in this land. Because technically, we're supposed to be part of some new country that formed, like right around the time that we were removed from the world, the Kingdom of Kikpur. We've heard about that from the Vistani. So that government may claim this land, and if you killed the rightful ruler and they try to like say that he was legitimate, you might make yourselves enemies of that land. So I wanted to warn you that that might be the case. Well, I'm not actually the lawful leader. The people have just chosen me right now to lead them. And I can tell you right now, if some type of like powerful lord comes in with any type of like marshaled force, I won't be able to stand against them. Oh, okay. Well, then that's probably for the best. What? I can't. You like three we talked at once. What? Well, you'll never be sold out by me. And then what did Wu Tang say? And he's not. He is an old man. Okay. Okay. He's just like, okay, I don't know who you are, but sure. Gotcha. Okay. So, uh, after this short rest with y'all, again, Donovich thanks particularly Leoric for giving his son the chance to live when he found out that he was a monster. And they all go to leave. Are you guys gonna like see them off or what? So as you get to the Portaclis and to where like the road would be off in the distance where you kind of saw them as they came out of the forest, there's actually a very large white stag, like a large like buck that's looks like albino or something like that. And it's my people, says Drizzlejaw. And as it sees y'all, it kind of like just looks your way and then like jumps into the forest. And the father's like, "Oh, that's a good omen for your travels. Like we haven't seen a white stag is like legendary in these parts as like an omen, and no one's seen one since Strahd took over." Yes. Everyone gets 1 point of inspiration. Oh, we're bringing inspiration back this episode. I didn't even know that. Okay, so they have all left now. Um, Jace points out that you guys actually didn't enter. So if you want to go back to the west, which is where the town that you guys came from and got your mission from, that's not going back through the village of Barovia. That's actually east. Somehow you thought you entered from the west, but you came from the east when you like went through the mist. So you'd have to go back through Valaki and then back past like Kvetch and like the werewolf area again. He said he's still not decided if he's gonna stay with y'all, but he'd like to. Um, but he wants to visit his family before he leaves to see what their decision is and see if there's any type of decision to be made there. Because his family may leave too. And out of character, that's just kind of leaving it open. I told him originally if he became the werewolf ally that he would possibly be able to leave that character behind if he wanted to. He was hacked. Hacked by the magic. All right. So what are y'all planning to do now? It's about midday. It actually looks like a beautiful like day outside, like far different from all of your time in this area. Ooh, firebomb the castle. What are you gonna use to firebomb the castle? Something up his sleeve. Dragonfire. As the so y'all just gonna kind of leave, leave the castle as it is. You've looted it enough. Everybody got some magic items that they're happy about, I think. Reading material? Hell yeah. What? Yeah. Everybody give me one more investigation check before you leave, just for shits and giggles. Oh shit, Wu-Tang! Oh, Xerxes, sad face. All right, Torin and Wu-Tang, give me one more D10. I just realized nobody ever searched the like guards' quarters above the gatehouse. A 9. Who was that? Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang, you found a bag. This ordinary bag is either gray. It looks like an ordinary bag. Sorry, it's either gray, rust, or tan. What do you want? Yeah, you're the gray bag. Okay, so if you reach inside this bag, you can feel the presence of small fuzzy objects. And we'll say you already know what it is. So this is a bag of tricks. A bag of tricks. When you put your hand in and pull one of these fuzzy balls out and throw it up to 20 feet away, you roll a 1d8 and it becomes a random creature based on the color of the bag. It's, if you roll a 1, a weasel, a 2, a giant rat, a 3, a badger, a 4, a boar, 5 is a panther, 6 is a giant badger, 7 is a direwolf, and 8 is a giant elk. The creature is friendly to you and your companions, and it acts on your turn. You can use a bonus action to command the creature and how it moves and what action it'll take on its turn, or to give it general orders such as to attack enemies. In your absence of orders, it acts in the fashion appropriate to its nature. And it vanishes at dawn or when reduced to 0 hit points. No, it vanishes at dawn. Okay. Damn it. No, that's fine. There's the bag of tricks thing. It's the first one. Yeah, like a bunch of times. Yeah, yeah. It's all fair in war, okay? But trick bags, nah, nah, he doesn't want that shit. Torn, you find a spell scroll that you can't read. So you don't know what spell it does, but it's a scroll. Probably. It's a spell of detect good or evil. Detect good and evil. I don't I don't need anybody knowing who's good or evil around here. Okay. So y'all are doing what? You're traveling away from the castle, heading to Vallaki, heading all the way to Jace's family. Sounds like no one. House flippers. This could be your castle with a couple minor modifications. There is a town. Yeah, you got to go through Vallaki and Kvechk. So where are you headed? Vallaki? Well, you travel to Valaki and it only takes you like the rest of the day. You get there by nightfall. There's nothing that attacks you. The land seems beautiful and wonderful. You know, the sky and the stars come out for the first time it seems like in ever. And as you walk into the town, there's no guards to greet you at the walls because apparently all the people that used to be in charge are dead. And what are you doing? You going to the church? Going to the inn? You're gonna do some general like investigation rolls to find like who's the richest or strongest person around. So Wu Tang's arguing with a donkey nearby, of asking if he's the strongest man in this area. Then it kicks the stable, and you're like, "That's a pretty strong animal." He is an ass. I mean, let's be fair. Boing. All right. So what are you guys doing in town? So you guys don't know anyone really in town except for the father and the Markoviches, the owners of the winery. Yeah, they did. So as Torn explained this, he pulled like a piece of cardboard, not cardboard, like wood that you didn't know where he was holding it, and he has all these things like tacked to it with like strings. He's like, so if we give it to them, and then they give us part of it, it's like a conspiracy theory board. Okay. So Drizzlejaw, you find out that besides those two people that you know, um, there's like a couple merchants that aren't like very wealthy because they're obviously like stuck in this shitty ass world. One of the more wealthy people in town recently died. He was the owner of the coffin shop. hmm So you guys leave Valaki in the middle of the night? Are you gonna try to rest here, or what are you gonna do? Guess you don't really need to rest because you know are awesome and healed by the sun like Birdman. But so you guys head on. Lathander healed you, the sun god. That could be what you think happened. So as you guys pass out of town, there was the hillside near town, maybe like 200 yards outside of town, that used to be covered with the Vistani wagons, and they're all gone. Looks like they left in quite a hurry. There's things like left behind. Part of their campsite like wasn't broken down. Like they scattered after finding the sun come out in the morning. They were pretty well known as his spies and stuff like that. Yeah, They said they were heading to some faraway land called Argentina. So as you guys head that way, Jace does mention he needs to go talk to his family about what's going on with them. Mm, All right. Did you go up to a random homeless man like in Batman Begins and just be like, hey, do you need a new crown? And give it to the homeless man, and then you meet him like 10 years later and you're like, hey, nice crown. Do you want to sell it in town? I don't care. Whatever. We'll sell it right now, but you won't get very much money for them for this shitty place. They don't have the economy hasn't recovered. It's in shambles. The economy's in shambles, guys. So, are you guys gonna go with Jace to his werewolf hideout place, or are you gonna just let him go and like catch up with you later if he decides to come with you, or what? Okay, so you're trying to fist bump him. Everybody else is like, yeah, if you want to come, I guess you can show up later. And you guys just let him walk away, or you just leave him at the crossroads. You're just like, meh. So you guys are gonna head to the Abbey in Quetch to wait for him there, or he's never been outside of Barovia. It's this road. You just take that road there. It's pretty simple, right? To who? Address it to the werewolf case. Find us here on the 30th of December. You leave him an address. Shard, the largest city of the east. Yeah, that's Shard. Like you took a shard in your pants. No, it's a shard. It's a D. You know what I meant. So he's gonna go there and deal with that. Y'all are just literally like heading straight out of town. Okay. I get paid. Where are you? One, two, three, four, but off to the side. 5, 6. With your powers combined, we now have a party. All right. So as you guys come out of town, there is that the one town that was like. So you guys come out of Barovia, and Barovia was in the land of Kikper on the very edge, near the northern side. You guys took like some caravan trails. But there was a city, a smaller city, like a caravanner city, that's a checkpoint kind of on the edge of the other country, which is Roos. And so Roos is the country that you guys came from, that you took your bounty from. And it took like 3 days to get to where you were in Barovia before. 3 days of like pretty much like only traveling and resting. I think the only thing you guys did along the way was fight, like one fight, maybe two, because when you were with the Vistani, you fought the T-Rex. So as you guys head out, you do eventually come upon that town that you met the Vistani in, where they took you into Barovia. That town seems to be in kind of a hubbub about something as you appear. It appears much more lively than it used to. And it was kind of a checkpoint for people that are either going to go north and try to travel through the where's my map? There we go. People that were going to try to travel through like some of the mountain passes that are passable during the summertime through the old forest into like north area of the map, north of the mountain range that is dominating the northern horizon. Or they were going to go head south. So this city is Arabelle. And again, either they head north or they have to head south around Barovia through like a different pass, because Barovia is like the only pass that you can go through in that area. But there definitely is some type of like hubbub about what's going on around there. So what are y'all doing? This is again Not the city you're supposed to go to. So Wu-Tang, is that investigation check for right now, or is that from earlier? Okay, so you're like gathering information about what's going on in your area. Drizzle Jaw's apparently looking for Arcana around here. Oh, so yes. To you, it appeared like maybe like 2 weeks passed since you went in there, but actually about 2 months have passed. Um, and even since the like the day of travel that you took to like cross Barovia, like since the mist has lifted, like these people are talking about how the mist lifted like a week ago. And there's like this big hubbub reacting that they might actually be able to go through there. There's a number of people that Torin and Wu-Tang here talking about how like, oh man, Barovia is supposed to have the best wine before it like got cut off from the rest of the map. Like finally we can go get some of this wine that's so great and trade in this wine. But 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 why the no wine? Like why Barovia wasn't in the like regular world, it was trapped in the like fog, like the wine all like died? But there's still like wine in bottles left like to like drink, right? Oh, he just looks down like just totally like no. Like he has like barrels in the back of his wagon and shit. Like he was preparing to get wine to take away. But I bought wagons for this. His partner says. He's looking at you like tell him what to do. All right, so they walk off. But yes, essentially the new trade route has been opened and people are kind of aware of it, and this city was kind of like the first place that like they're preparing for like way more caravans coming their way in the future. The main corporation or merchants guild that y'all know is from one of the 12 families is the Orion Corporation. You see a lot of their sigil all over the place as their people are like stepping up everything. They're like already like planning out like building new like stables and like wagon areas in the town. Like they are in full swing. So Orion didn't hire you. You were hired by the Thorani, but the Thorani's bounty was a contract like for the Orion. They're the middleman. The Thorani's the middleman. No, they're the waste management guild. Yeah. But on the street, they're also known for espionage, assassinations, and stuff like that. They're a legitimate waste management company, okay? We're legitimate businessmen! They're the mob. If you're not getting this joke, they're the mob. Spell it out. They're the mob. Okay, so are y'all gonna stay here for a little bit? Are you gonna move on? You want to try to sell some stuff? What do you want to do? You want to wait till the big city? Get some better prices in the big city. Not these small town merchants. This sword's really heavy, guys. Okay. So there's a number of merchants like all getting ready to do caravans and shit. You know, like you just want to approach one and start like negotiating. How much? He is like startled by your presence, like you kind of snuck up on him, And he's like, whoa. And as he sees the sword kind of like put up in front of him, he like almost reaches for his weapon. He's like, can I help you? I've got a lot of work going on here. Do you need something? And he's like, and he starts to look over the sword a little bit. And he says, oh, it's pretty good craftsmanship. It's magical. He kind of gives you an eye, like looking at you like it's magical, right? Yeah. He's like, that could come in handy. And he kind of cocks an eye at you again. He's like, he kind of looks at you a little closer. He's like, are you a goblin? He says, huh. He kind of spits to the side. Never never cared much to worry about a man's race. I'll give you 1,200 gold for this. Do you take Rus credits? So Rus credits are, for every credit, it's a gold, but it's like he's signing you like a check. And you'd have to go to a major bank in like a major city to get the money. Any major city in Rus? Correct. any Kandaric gain bank will take the credits. He says, make a persuasion. Oh shit! You already made a persuasion. Okay. He says, what? Dang! Way to use your character sheet. He says, all right. Yeah, he's like a knight. So he says, deal. And he hands the sword off to somebody else, and he waves over a like clerk, and he writes out something. It says like it's the Kandaric Banking Guild, like like cashier check type thing, and he's writes out 1,400 gold pieces and hands you the slip of paper. He says, good doing business with you. Anything else? Okay. What's the party doing? His sword's right here. All right. Anybody else want to do anything in this city before moving on? Waiting for the big city. Okay. So, as y'all head out of town, you guys have been traveling like night and day. There's no resting at all so far, right? I mean, at a certain point, you start to gain levels of exhaustion if you don't rest. That's my only point. Okay, so you guys leave in the morning. Okay. So again, that's not necessarily something that matters right now, but it could matter in the future. Just want to make sure you guys know. If you just don't rest for days on end, you will become exhausted. And exhaustion starts to become real bad real quick. So, as you guys travel, you start to see familiar lands. The hilliness of the nation of Kickper kind of gives way to, again, the farmlands and forests of the merchant alliance of Rus. And there's many caravans that seem to be passing you on their way to Arabel, the caravaner city. And, excuse me, you actually come to a bridge in the forest that you recognize. Ta-ta. And ka-cha. Ignore that white part. So this area seems familiar. And make a perception check. Gallows? You do not. Yeah, you don't remember this area at all. What happened to my bullshit? Oh, there it is. So, Torin, you're like looking around. It looks like kind of a crossroads that you remember. You can't put your finger on it. It is pretty early in the day. Let's say you can see actually this far. So there's a creek up ahead with a little stone bridge over it. And you start, anyone that got over a 10 starts to see a little bit of smoke coming from the northwest. And Torin, you hear like some pops and some things of it sounds like a fire, like starting like and catching fire in the area. And Wu-Tang, yeah, you're like, is that a fire? Like a forest fire over there? Across the way? So you could see smoke, everyone pretty much, because everybody rolled except for the York, who was not paying attention at all until somebody pointed it out. And no. So if you want to make an intelligence check, you might remember. Or I guess you could use history. Even though it'd be recent history. Yeah, you're like, this area does seem familiar, but I don't know why. So the 20 stealth check, Wu-Tang like ducks down and like scampers across, like he goes so low that this low stone bridge, like you can't even see him over the top of it if you were like from the side. And he goes over to like these bushes and stuff. And Wu-Tang, you actually see some fire like in the branches of that tree.
Does this fire look like a fire bear?
No. Also, wait a minute game.
Hey, it's your fault for talking about it the other day.
What about what?
You were talking about us the other day.
I was? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're using your Draconic Perception cantrip thing, your ability. Alex? Torn? So, no, that's fine. Cantrip makes sense. It's just it's a at will like spell effect type of thing. So he has blind sight around him now as he like starts to use all the senses of a dragon as he like focuses on it. And what are you just trying to stealth up with him? Okay. So y'all see up here there actually is quite a bit of fire like starting to spread in the grass and the trees. If untended, it might like have part of the whole like forest go up. But you, yeah, they just all ran up. They're just like, hey, what's that over there? Hey! Y'all see something? Xerxes backs away from the bridge. He's like, I don't know about that.
There appears to be a fire. You guys came this way before. Was this fire here last time?
Was the land all afire before? You came through this area too. It just wasn't with them. And so you're going right there in your draconic perception. Is that what your thing was measuring? So you see in the forest a group of like standing stone, sitting stones with some type of like charred circle in the middle. At least it was previously charred, and there is some type of flaming warrior man or woman or something. It's masked, you're not sure. Surrounded by like a great flame and fires. And it points a flaming sword at you. And roll initiative. No, you don't roll initiative, is that what you mean? Nope. I don't want to fight. I'm like forgetting who the hell it is. I'm like, oh yeah, Jeff isn't here. Are you not gonna roll one for Xerxes because you're so far away, or what? No, you're fine. Okay. So as it points its sword at you, it you hear like a woman's voice like scream out. You can just tell like how it screams. It seems like a woman's voice. It has some type of wooden mask on that's on fire, and it has like robes and stuff that appear to be on fire, but they're almost like the fire's not like eating at them. And there are like magical looking like obsidian orbs floating around its head. And as it raises its flaming like curved like katana type sword at you, it just says vengeance, and it starts to run at you at Torin. It starts to run at Torin, and as it runs, 3 more pairs of flaming like spirit arms like raise out of its back. This is the new boss. Welcome to the new boss. No, let's see.
Anybody that shouts vengeance before they attack you is pretty mad. Vengeance. Yeah,
Morgan Freeman.
letters just put Freeman.
So she runs all the way to you and can't attack this turn. But you feel the heat emanating around her, and you take 2 fire damage. 2. Even with your resistance. And then it's Torin's turn. So what is Torin doing? Yeah, you're gonna attack. You're attacking. Heard. That's a miss. That's a hit. So you do 10 damage to it. So it appears to be somewhat stunned. The creature goes like, "Oh, shit. Oh no. No, it doesn't. I lied. It doesn't. I'm a liar." It appears unaffected by your stunning strike. Like almost like it doesn't have a nervous system that you could target to stun it.
Get nervous.
Did take 10 damage, though. That is also a miss. Okay, so you're going to move where? Backwards. Away is what you said. Nothing. It's more forest and stuff. If you need to move that way, you can, but yeah. Okay. After you, Xerxes, you see up ahead what appears to be like a fire spreading, and you saw Torin run away from the fire. If you want to make a perception check, you could try to see more what it is. Okay, so now that he's caught your attention, you're like, what's that over there? And it appears to be some type of flaming warrior with 2 real arms and 6 flaming arms with 6 floating orbs around its head that are like obsidian, and it's wearing a flaming mask and like flaming like dress of rags or something.
Well, that seems like something I could shoot arrows at.
Okay.
I'll move up to this side of the bridge, right there.
Perfectly 60 feet away from your target.
I'll cast Hunter's Mark on the target.
Okay.
Use an arrow.
Holy moly.
Game over.
Okay. Do damage. Okay, so it was hurt. So it would be. Oh, it like adds those together already. Colossal Slayer, Insight that, like, we're just gonna say does that. 11 plus your max damage with your arrows is 13 plus 8. And that's what it looks like. It's 1d8 plus 4 plus 1. So 13. You rolled a 6, it says 11, so that's actually a 13. And we're just taking the 8, which is max damage anyways. So that's 21 plus already a max 6 for electricity, another 10 plus that other 11, so 42 damage. So you just shoot right through like one of the cracks in its wooden mask that's like filled with fire looking out, and it goes straight into the face underneath the mask. And you hear ah as the fire starts to like eat it up, and the electricity from your arrow like chars the wood that doesn't seem to be charred by the fire.
Perfect. That was promising.
And
Another shot.
it does not hit. So next up would be. Wait a second. Did I not write Andy's down?
I had the same as Chris.
Oh, that's why I didn't write it down. Okay. So Wu-Tang, you're up first.
I will first action surge.
Okay.
Then bonus action, I will fighting spirit.
Okay.
And I'm going to move up and attack it.
Okay. That is a miss.
26 is a miss.
Oh, I forgot it's advantage. Sorry. No, that's a hit. That's a...
Jesus Christ.
Oh no! It's the armor all over again.
8 damage. Hit it again. A crit.
So
Plus 5.
so no, it's 10 plus 4. So 15 damage. He does, but he's not going first. He's using Fighting Spirit, which the bonus action lets him get advantage on every attack roll this turn. And then he Fighting Surge, so he does 2 turns.
Here's the second flurry of attacks. 6 more damage.
Okay, remember too, you can add your sneak attack to one of these advantage attacks because you have advantage.
Yeah, I'll roll the 2d6 after this.
Okay.
And then does 21 hit?
21 does hit.
6 more damage. And then there's sneak attack.
So another 13 damage total. Okay. So as you're doing all these hits into it, and it's just cutting up its freaking body, one of the orbs floats into its chest and like burns into its chest and goes into its chest all the way, like kind of burns through the flesh into it and disappears, and some of its wounds heal.
How many orbs are there again?
There's 6. There's now 5.
Now there's 5.
Now there's 5. So you did just like tear it up though. Between that arrow and you tearing it up, it was definitely looking very hurt before it healed a little bit. Okay.
That's my turn.
Drizzle Jaw, what are you doing?
I have 5.
No idea. No idea. You're like, those orbs seem to be magical of some kind.
They're floating.
Hold monster. It seems to have no effect. I'm so sorry. That's just not meant to be the way that happened. That is just the way the monster stats are and what you're doing. Oh man. Okay. Anything else?
Tyler's all like, "Hey Chris, you should try this character. It's really cool. Oh, by the way, every spell you cast, it's not gonna work." That is really cool.
Okay, Drizzle Jaw, anything else you want to do? No? Chris is already gone. Okay. Next up is Leoric. What is Leoric doing? He said something about jumping on off this bridge and he'd be right back. I thought he meant his character, but maybe he really meant him. When you're being educated? Yeah, you are unfamiliar with this type of flame creature. I think everyone in the area heard it yell vengeance. With this history check of 8, you also are you're like, there. I'm gonna get it somewhere. I know we've been here before. Something happened here. Just looks like some type of burning, charred corpse. Okay. With your +1 magical halberd? Did you add your stats to it? Oh my gosh. Look at you go. Taking the training wheels off. So you hit it for 16 damage, including radiant damage. Okay. you are about to hit it, and with its sword, it deflects the blow. Okay. Gotcha. So it made it. So it is not blinded. So it moves. It moves this way and then steps into the road where the cobblestones are starting to melt from the heat and fire emanating off of it. Oh, didn't mean to copy and paste y'all. Thought I copy and pasted this. The fires left behind by its wake of destruction and heat. So, if only. Wu-Tang, you're gonna take 6 fire damage from the heat. Yeah, on his turn, his heating thing heats you up. And Leoric takes 5 fire damage as well from the heat around him. So, then it attacks as it moves around you to get closer to Leoric.
So it didn't perceive me as a threat.
No.
Rude.
So, first, it slashes twice with its sword at Leoric. And one misses and one's a 22. Its sword does 12 damage to you, plus 8 more fire damage to you. Then it moves some more. Yeah. It did leave your threat range. If you'd like to use your reaction to attack it. You miss it. It kind of barely ducks its head. One of the spirit arms may or may not have interfered with your attack. And Alex, all 6 of the arms attack you. The flaming 6 arms. So probably should have attacked Colin now that I think about it. So Alex, the ones that I think might hit are 21, 25, 25, 17. Okay, so you get hit by 3 of the fire like spirit arms as they try to like just punch you and stuff as it runs at you. And you take, of the 3 hits from the arms, you take 13 force damage as like the force of this like extraplanar arms hit you. And then you take an additional 16 fire damage, but it's going to be half each one. So it's the 13 damage you definitely take, and then it's 2, 5, 8 fire damage more. And then it is your turn. Yes. If you want to use your inspiration for that. Yes, only one. Flurry of blows it up. Miss. Miss. Oh, the first one does hit. Sorry. If that's the inspiration one. Are you doing the inspiration on the third one? Sorry. Okay, inspiration on this next one. Yeah, yeah. That hits. 4 slashing damage to it. You slice its chest a little bit. And as you do, some of its wounds heal up. It failed. Okay. So it flies 5, 10, 15 right here to the river. And its flaming aura extinguishes, but it does not appear like injured from the water. And then it is Xerxes' turn. Oh, you're not done. Okay, sorry. I'm super annoyed, so I'm running. Okay. That's it now? Okay, now it's Xerxes' turn.
Pretty close to me, huh?
It is.
Move to the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
There.
It's going to be hard to hit it from there, considering you just moved away and it's like. Oh, you're pretty good? Okay, take -5 to hit, but you can still shoot. Because it has, like, almost total concealment now. Or total cover from the bridge. It's like a 5-foot drop. There you go. Now you're fine. Yeah, you're fine there. That's a hit. It did heal some of the damage from Alex's attacks, too. So that hit. Holy sholies. Okay. 24, 28. Yeah, that hit it straight in, like, the heart. And it staggered it. So, shit. Well, that one hits, too.
Don't crit or anything. Don't get excited, guys.
15, 19. I'm like brain dead right now, math wise. Did you ever just have brain dead times? Like I tried like 5 different ways to do a can opener today, and Amanda was like, "Turn it flat," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Like I was like, I'm having a stroke, guys. I don't know how to use a can opener.
Of course you've never before. Adult man.
I'm an adult man. All right,
I'm also not gonna remember some other clues.
it is a very hurt. Yes. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that is my turn.
Okay, Wu Tang, you're up.
All right. I don't have enough movement to get to it, so I'll move to here, and then I am going to throw some daggers at it.
Oh, miss.
Wow.
Hit. What kind of damage is that one?
And that did. Hold on, let me get this over here. That did radiant damage.
Okay. So with that 7 damage, it appears very hurt.
And then bonus attack cut.
That one also hit, and you already rolled damage for it, it looks like. So it had a single eye hole in its mask, and then it had like a crease where like a nose would be, and one of the arrows from Xerxes has already hit it in that like crease where the nose is. The one eye hole that's showing in the wooden mask, that's where that last dagger lands. It just goes like into its eye, and it collapses into the water and seems to be dead.
Loot it.
You said last time. Do you remember now? What does your character have an epiphany as it dies? Oh yeah, there was that fire girl we killed here. Okay.
No, loot it first.
Well, Wu Tang is looting it.
I'm in particular searching 8 fingers for a ring.
It has no rings. The magical stones have just fallen to the ground. They seem to be like hunks of obsidian now. Their runic like fire script on them is gone. Uh, and it does have a sword, but it's just like the equivalent of like a long sword. The mask is a wooden mask. It doesn't seem to have any type of magical powers. If that's what you mean. You could wear the mask, but
You lying son of a bitch.
who lied about what?
You told me that there was a ring that this chick had, and we were supposed to check for the first time that we killed her the last time we were here, and then we didn't, and then I'm here for redemption. I want that ring.
Well, first of all, that'd be metagaming. So boo,
Absolutely.
boo.
I want that ring.
So boo on you for doing that. Number two, you obviously weren't actually listening to metagame properly because what I said was that Bastion looted it off her body in secret and no one ever knew about it. No one looted it from his body when he was unconscious or after they thought that they killed him in Strahd's castle. As an example of loot lost in the last like 10 sessions where it seems like there wasn't a whole lot of like the looter's code being followed.
You were telling me this while I was playing Star Wars.
Hmm. Well, then you might find a lightsaber then. Yeah, the forest fire's still kind of going. So that grave again, you've investigated this grave before. Um, it's not really anything of note different this time. It's just a charred, like half dug up grave with the stones placed in this particular way to like do like some type of like magical ceremony, which is what happened last time. There you go. So you leave this area and you head on to the west to the city of Shard. And after 2 more days of travel, which I assume you rest at night, but I don't want to tell you what to do, you could push on and arrive tired and everything. So you appear out. Sorry, Shard appears on the horizon to the west, near the mountains to the north. It's a northwestern road that takes you that way, and it looks much like you left it. It's a large sprawling metropolis, um, with some very large tall buildings and like a downtown area in the center, but it's mostly sprawling single or second two-story buildings and things like that. There's many caravans and markets and things throughout it. There definitely seems to be um, different like zones and things where certain types of businesses are. Like there's like a whole caravanning district where there's like primarily only caravans and like livestock and things like that. There's the areas that are more like blacksmith oriented. There's like a banking district, as well as the 12 families, merchant houses, corporations, whatever you want to call them, and they're like areas that they control. They are
Let's get our money first.
so the original 3 members of the party that are still left from that original contract. You don't know how to find him because he found you last time. So, huh? Oh, you have urban tracking abilities from no known starting point. But luckily, uh, Wu Tang and Drizzle Jaw know him more. They actually know him. Yes, you have very good hunting of humans. We know. You're the human hunter. Searching for the human horn. So they actually know kind of like where he is and stuff like that and like how to get in contact with him, but it involves like a drop system and stuff like that. It may take a couple days for him to connect with you.
I use Thieves' Can.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, you know a particular way to like if you turn like a can over in this one alleyway and you make sure you like lock this in. I hate you. Spellcaster, I can cast spells. Yes, you're both very talented. So you do a couple weird things. You write with some chalk on like a stone and a thing, and you're like, yeah, he'll find us in a couple days. This is pretty much how it works. Okay. Okay, so roll investigate to find a merchant that you feel like would give you a good price. Is this merchant a good merchant or a bad merchant? That's it. Yeah, you found a perfect one. You found the perfect merchant. And it seems to be some sort of like general trading merchant that has a lot of different things there. So, what are you doing? Pipe Savant. Need to sell all this shit that I definitely don't want to give to anybody else, right? I don't make magic items specifically for people ever. Gotcha. So what you actually found was in the arcane like type quarter, surrounded by quiet streets and some like forges and like alchemical shops and stuff like that. You found a magic shop. Um, there's like actually like crystalline like obelisks in the streets too that like light it up for like what you assume is like the nighttime like light up. The shop is a two-story building, has a bunch of leaded glass windows and things like that, and there's a tall elf um, named Gasto. A shiny stone. Hmm. I don't know. I can look. Just give me 1 second. When you halfway write down shit, I don't know either. Okay, like no, I'm sure I can find it. Give me 1 second. Just gotta go look through a million pages of the Curse of Strahd. Yeah, if you use a sling, it acts like a like David versus Goliath versus Strahd. It just like insta kills him if you hit him in the forehead. Okay. What is this? The main hall. If that's where you found it. Yeah, I don't see it in the area that you originally said so. So the elf looks at you with disdain as you walk in. He's like, "Can I help you?" So describe your character again for everybody. Yeah, what does your character look like? So this feral-looking dragonborn walks in. This elf is like, Yeah. Sir, I don't think you're gonna find what you're looking for here. It he's like ignores you completely. He looks over at like a little like stand-up wooden thing on his thing that's carved intricately. It kind of looks like the thing that tells you like what kind of like credit card places accept, and it says something in Elvish, and it has like a platinum piece like embedded in it. And he says, "We only serve platinum customers, sir," implying that he only takes platinum coins. Are you showing him your shit? Are you like pulling it out of your rags and showing it to him? Like, do you want? So the pipes of haunting, he like does not even like look at really. He's like, ugh, like dirty pipes. But you pull out like this giant golden like sun thing, and he's like, maybe we could, perchance, I could make an exception this one time, sir. Uh, are you will? Are you looking to sell? You say, okay. It's a little hot. It's a little hot. Is it you stole it? Um, what type of a price would you be looking for this? He waves you over. Bring it here. Let me look at it. And he pulls out a little like jeweler's glass thing. And he like starts looking at it a little bit. And he bites one of the like tines of the like streaking sun rays out of it. Oh yes, I could part with 50 platinum pieces for this piece. 500 gold. He looks at you and he's like, ugh. He looks down at the thing and he's, ugh. 700. 70 platinum pieces. He's like flustered, so flustered he's talking about gold, even though he says he only deals with platinum. 70 pieces of platinum. He kind of like rubs his fingers on his ears a little bit, his pointy ears. Deal. He opens up some type of safe like you can't see underneath the counter, and he pulls out a bag of platinum coins and counts out some of them, and then hands the rest of the bag to you. And the sun piece is like pretty big. It's like 3 feet in diameter. He's like wondering where the hell you were keeping it in your rags as he takes it. He's like, yes, great. So get out of my shop. Okay, so what do you want to do? Yeah, you'll have to probably find a different store. Is everybody else looking for their own places to sell stuff? So you walk out and you're like, what do you tell everybody else? Hmm. So you're talking about what? Oh, the short bastard. You can use a short sword too, just out of character. Okay. So Wu Tang, what are you doing?
I am finding a bank to turn in my check so I can get my gold from.
He's trying to give you a sword, and you're like, I'm gonna go find a bank. He tried to give you that sword that he found, And you said, I'm going to go find a bank, and started walking away.
We were off all kind of doing our own thing.
I don't know. Nobody said anything, so I'm assuming everyone's following each other around.
No, I was off doing my own thing.
He's waiting for his turn, yeah.
I'm happy with the sword that I have. Thank you, though.
Okay. So you can maybe look for another place later on to sell any other stuff. Let's go with the people that are speedy. Xerxes, you're high dexterous man. What are you doing? Brothel it is. Always the brothel. So let's look at. So you were following everybody else a little bit, and in the arcane corner. Oh, okay, you weren't. Okay, well then tell me what you're doing. Yeah. So what part of the city are you looking for brothel on? The nearest one. Okay, so you were following them for a little bit into the arcane quarter, and you found a building that was single story, and it had on it a symbol in Dwarven for brothel, and it was set in gemstones in like the thing, like broadly proclaiming itself some type of thing. Are you going in, or are you not? Are you too good for Dwarven brothels? So you enter, and it's kind of filled with like smoke that almost smells like a forge, and there's a large burly dwarf smoking a cigar behind the desk, and he looks at you a little suspiciously. Can I help you? Got the bluest balls you've ever seen. What color is your guy? Red? The purplest balls you've ever seen. He's like, I don't need your shit. Just pay the money. It's 10 gold. All right, roll a charisma check and a dexterity check and a constitution check. We're going old school Fallout 2 rules for the brothel. Charisma? Okay. Constitution and dexterity. We said this before. If you're gonna make me talk about what the broth has happening inside the brothels, then we're gonna find out what happens inside the brothels. Okay. Advantage on which one? All of them? So, in short, literally, the session is, you're both attractive people. This dwarf only has a slight beard in her, on her face, but she is very voluptuous, and she seems to be having fun, but it ends too fast for her. And on to the next person. The next person is Wu Tang. What are you doing?
I'm finding a bank so I can cash in my check.
Okay, so you are looking around town for one of the Kundarak banks. The Kundarak family has banks and like storage units and like prisons and things like that. So, um, as you're looking for it, a man bumps into you, and make a perception check. So immediately you notice he like slipped a hand in your pocket.
Okay, I counter it with my own sleight of hand.
Oh, so you were a little too slow.
Okay, well then I chase him down.
Well, he didn't actually take anything from you. You find as you like start to like be upset about it. There's just a note that looks like it's from your contact that says that he'll meet you in like 3 days' time. And he names like a place and stuff like that. He's obviously like seen that you're back in town and gotten your message from him. Okay, so you go to the bank, and it's like a big stone building. Um, yeah, it's a big stone building with like a timbered like door and things like that. As you walk inside, it's made of like marble and things like that. It's pretty fancy pants. Um, there is a some type of guy that looks like kind of an adventurer, like talking to like a teller ahead of you, but they wave you forward. And there's a short female human lady, and she has a name tag that says Gythuria. And she says, "Can I help you?"
Why, yes, Gytheria. I am here to cash in this check.
Okay, I can handle that for you. And she takes it from you, and she looks it over. She says, "Do you have a form of ID?" I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is like a cashier's check. We can check it for you, Shirley. I like to have a little fun with people sometimes. The day gets boring. she, she says, "Would you like to accept it in platinum coins? This branch deals mostly in platinum coins."
I will take this platinum coin.
So she prepares a bag for you, and she says, "Would you like to join our platinum affiliates system?"
I'll just take the money. Thank you very much.
Okay, and she starts to like, even though it's in platinum, she gives you this bag that's like probably like 20 pounds with all of the like it has like 140 platinum in it. It's pretty heavy. And she says, "Okay, you're the one that has to lug this around." And she starts to like hand it to you through the window.
Well, I take my platinum and I go find another bank that I can convert this into gold.
Oh, okay, so you'd rather have 1,400 pieces of gold?
Whichever one's easier to carry.
Platinum's the easiest to carry, but it's already 20 pounds.
Not bag of five. How big is my? Apparently, I have 600 gold. How much gold is?
Yeah, so you are like dragging with gold. I know. We're gonna start to deal with that right now.
Convert my gold to platinum.
Oh. She said, "I really would think that you'd be interested in our platinum plan."
What does this platinum plan do?
She pulls out an ornate bag that, for a visual sense, looks like a Crown Royal bag. It's a purple, like fancy, like coin purse looking bag. And she says, "For only 20 platinum a year, you can have a bank account that's connected to you at all times through our platinum coin purse of portals, which acts as a magical bag of holding, but only for coins, and goes directly into your account so that you never have to worry about your money being too far away."
This does actually sound kind of awesome. I am I will put all of this money into this bank account, and I will take your magical portal bag.
So you get the bag of banking, which is a bag that's connected directly to your personal account. It does take a full action in combat to access it if you try to access it in combat. Um,
Nope, I'm gonna be pulling money out in combat.
I'm just letting you know what it is. And if anyone but you reaches in the bag, all they feel is a regular coin purse that's empty.
Oh, nice.
So there's the X. Exactly. Our security system that's included in our platinum service is wonderful.
Now, tell me, if somebody chops off my hand, can they then use my hand to reach into this bag to take my money?
She pushes some paperwork towards you, and she says, "That's covered in the fine print, sir."
Good thing I asked about it. It's a good thing I asked about it because I don't read the fine print.
She's not telling you what the fine print says.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna put this away, but I'm kind of like out of line.
Okay, so she hands you this bag, and she takes 20 of your platinum that you got. You had 140 platinum from his check, and she puts the 120 in there, and she says, "Is there any like other deposit you'd like to make, or would you just like to take the bag and deposit it on your own? Because at this point, you're in the control of your finances."
Sleight of hand, I try to take 20 platinum back.
Okay, so as you reach through like the teller thing, because she's behind like a glass like thing with just like a little like the talking thing. She's talking you through it, and there's just like a little thing you put there. You try to stick your arm through like a rotating thing that she's been using, and your arm just gets stuck. And she's like, "Sir, what are you doing?"
You have the most beautiful. Hold on. What color are her eyes?
They're green.
You have the most beautiful green eyes, and I just wanted to see what you were doing after this. That's all.
Make a persuasion check.
That's +2.
That's with +2? Okay. So she's like, I'm not allowed to date customers, sir. And she just kind of like turns the little thing. It's almost like a rotating door that's like in a big building, like in the city. And she kind of rotates it back the other way so you can take your hand out.
Well, perhaps sometime when I'm not a customer in the future? Question mark.
Are you asking her? Okay, yeah. She didn't look like she was going to give you a good answer. So at this point, you could then now put any gold, any type of coin you have, you can put in this bag, and it is connected to a bank account specifically for Wu-Tang.
Now, buy me some healing potions.
No, you're done for now.
Oh, gimme.
Drizzle Jaw, what's Drizzle Jaw doing? So, what type of wizard store? You want a magic item, spell scrolls.
Useful kind.
So a scribe, not a wandrite, because as you entered the arcane district with Torin, you've passed some wandrites, some scribes, some alchemists, some general traders, things like that. Okay, so just a little ways down the down the road, outside of the arcane district, you see a excuse me, a single-story half-timbered building with tall shelves, brightly lit by magical candles and chandeliers, and it's right next door to like a big adventurers like guild thing. Like it's called like the Warriors Guild, and they have a dragon like painted on the front of their building. And the shopkeeper that you walk into looks like an older male elf. And as you walk in, his eyes light up. He's like, "Oh," and he looks down at you. He's like, "Oh, I don't see one of the whitish variety very often. Who are you?" Oh, well, aren't you a darling? Okay. What kind of spell scrolls would you like? Ooh, telekinesis and dragon's breath. Let me check. Uh,
Tyler, you better give me these scrolls. I swear to God, I'm sick and tired of you screwing over Chris.
How am I screwed over, Chris?
You like won't let me use the spell, and now you're gonna be like, oh, we don't just open.
What? Keep doing it. It makes everything better, right? Um, so I did find telekinesis, but I can't find dragon's breath. I'm so sorry. We could try to find a different store in town that might have it. There's a lot of stores in town. Well, do you want the scroll of telekinesis from me? She looks he looks crestfallen. He seems a little kind of effeminate. Okay. Did you leave? Hmm. I'm not seeing these spells in any of the stores. What are they? Dragon's Breath? So one of the stores you walk in is it looks like it's got like some name like straight up on it. Um like and it says like one of like 50 locations or something like that. It's like a what do you call it? A chain. It's a chain of stores that sell scrolls. And the man inside there, he tells you that even if he doesn't have it, he can search other locations, but it's for a fee. For 10 gold, he can find any spell scroll that you want. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a chain. I don't set the prices, sir. I'm not management. So for 10 gold. Okay. What level is telekinesis? 5? Holy shit, that's a high level spell. You're the one that chose him? What are you talking about? Okay. Okay, so he has the Dragon's Breath one, and he can get you the other one for 10 gold from another location. So the Dragon's Breath one costs 200 gold, and the telekinesis one costs 600 gold. Okay. You have money? Okay. So you give him total 810 gold. Okay. And Leoric, what are you doing? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you do. There, there's a couple people that have given you some weird looks as you walk through town. Okay. Exactly. You guys have like looted. Leoric's one of the few people that's actually looted stuff and then like just totally forgot about him. I guess this isn't the magical halberd I wanted, so fuck it. Okay. So, yes. So you find pretty much the nearest like shop, and it's just like a shop that sells like everything. Um, you assume that since it's a shop that sells everything, they can do everything. So it's like, yeah. Uh, uh. Well, here's the thing though. This shop does have its walls engraved with like runes of power and sorcery, and there is a big male tiefling that is running the shop. And he's like, what kind of enchantments? You want to enchant armor? Usually it's cheaper to just buy enchanted armor and try to like get somebody to enchant it unless you want like a specific enchantment, and then like you have to like go find the specific enchantment for like the armor. You gotta like find somebody that could do that spell. Oh, yeah, we have enchanted armor. Sure. Yeah, and he like walks you over. There's a dummy over in the corner, and it has +3 studded leather armor. Um,
+3, you say?
+3 is like, yeah, go away. You're not here. You know, something of the heavier variety. Yeah, you can go check one of the, like the armory shops and the Arcana district. They'll probably have one for you. Ooh, which one would he recommend? Persuade. Sure. Performance check. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so he recommends actually not one that's not in the Arcana district. He tells you go to the Adventurer's Ward. Um, it's Dika and Andin's armor and shields. And he kind of points you in the way. And as you head there, there's actually like a drunken brawl going on outside, like from the tavern next door. And there's a single story building with half timber walls and stained glass windows. One of which is built as a huge dragon shaped like face, and it is there's a big dragon like forge in the back of the building, and there's a pretty short and like stouty elf named Dika that seems to be like working, and when she notices you stops. Um, she actually notices the witch's head on your thing, and she says, "I'll give you some silver pieces for her teeth." What do you want? Enchanted armor? I might have a couple. From the look of you, and she looks you up and down. You looking for plate? So, do you want magical plate, or are you just looking for good plate? So she kind of walks you over to the corner, and she has like a bunch of mannequins, and a bunch of them have different armor. So she has some with like um, chainmail, and some with studded leather, and things like that. And as you get to like one of the corners in the back corner, there's a very shiny, like knight's intricately done plate mail that's engraved with like runes of strength and things like that. But next to it is this like black battered chainmail that's engraved with like geometric patterns. And she says, "So the shiny one, that's magic. This one here though," and she like knocks on its chest plate, she says, "This is adamantian plate." God damn it. What look up your own shit. No, just, give 1 second. I gotta look it up now. That's what happens when you have randomly generated stores. So, so adamantine armor won't increase your armor class, but while you're wearing it, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit because it's the hardest substance in existence. Yeah, possibly. It's more expensive to enchant because it's like such a rare metal and stuff like that. You have to do different shit, like to carve runes in it and shit like that. Like you have to use like more shit to do it. The other armor is just magical +1 plate mail. So magical +1 plate mail costs 3,000 gold. You can try. It's pretty hard 3,000 gold there, but just the teeth. Just the teeth. I'll give you 10 silver for the teeth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could take them off your hands. They could be used to enchant stuff and things like that. So do you want to buy armor or not? Well, you're going to sell your current armor, right? We could make a swap. I don't think I could part with the magical armor, but I really think the adamantine is more your style anyways. I'll take both gems and your plate mail and give you the adamantine armor. Probably twice the amount that would cost to enchant it regularly. So normally +1 plate or +1 armor costs, I think, 1,500. So it would cost you like 3,000 to enchant it. Yeah. Okay. So we'll put that deal on hold. It was both gems and an armor trade. I'll write it down so I try to remember it. That's true too. You want to do that? Okay. So you have adamantium plate. And it makes you immune to critical hits, which is pretty ridiculous. And you got it for only 1,000 gold? Okay. Who else is looking for stuff right now? You didn't sell the rest of your stuff, and neither did Colin, actually. Okay, so the snake gold bracer thing that you have is like, it creates either a dagger or a spear, and on a crit, the spear does like a crap ton of poison damage instead of like regular critting. And a dagger, so you could use both. Have you been following everyone around looking for other shops to sell your shit at, Alex? You have the pipes of haunting, right? Classic salesman trick. Yeah, those are useless. The what? The staff or the bracer? So the snake bracer, yeah. I guess. Do you want it, Alex? It's a bracer, one bracer that you wear on your like right arm, and as like part of your attack, like just like you draw a weapon, you can either summon a dagger or a spear into your hand with it. And then you use it. It's considered like a +1 spear or dagger. And then when you crit with it, the spear specifically, if you crit with the spear, then it like a viper head, like that's part of the blade on it, like strikes them and does a bunch of poison damage. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. Okay. You also have the Staff of the Python. So, as y'all are talking, you and Alex, she's looking over and she's like, I'm not much of a weapon person, but, like my brother, he deals in weapons. His shop is like next door. It's the second half of Dika and Andon's Armor and Shields. It's Dika and Andon's Weapons and Bows, Swords and Bows, or whatever it is. So next door, he's looking at your stuff. He will offer you 3,000 gold for the two of those items. Persuade him. Barovia? You've been to Barovia? So he changes. He hears Barovia, and you're like talking it up. He's like, "How about 5,000 gold?" So he gives you 5,000 for those two things. Okay. The Kamas. I mean, it's pretty much just a hand. It's like a fancy hand axe. Oh, you want like the specific chain symbol thing? So yeah, he doesn't see any of that stuff. Like he doesn't have any of that stuff. But make a perception check, both of you. Shit, did I close the thing? I did. Let me see. Okay, there it is. 17 maybe. If I can find it real quick, I'll show it to you. Sorry. So while you're looking through the shop, you don't see what you're looking for. But Torin, you do see it what looks to be just like a longsword hilt. And it doesn't have a blade. He's like, oh, that's a really expensive weapon. I don't know if y'all can afford that. That's what they call a sunblade. If you Oh, I'd pay a lot of money for it. They're super rare. It's a blade that used to be empowered by the sun god, and then because it was used with like heroic acts and things like that, when it was broken, it was replaced with it. He picks it up and it goes, and it's a lightsaber. It acts as either a long sword or a short sword. It doesn't have like an actual blade. It does radiant damage. But anyone with long sword or short sword proficiency could use it. Uh, it's a +2 attack and damage. It does 1d8 damage radiant, and on undead it does an extra 1d8 radiant damage. So that costs Of course, it's not gonna have the price. Fuck you, Google. Yeah, pretty much. But let me check real quick. It costs 12,000 gold. 12,000 gold. Okay. Okay. So a ring of protection is 3,500 gold. I don't know. It just says ring of protection. Yeah, it's a +1 to AC and all saving throws, but it wouldn't stack on the saving throws with your cloak. I don't think you have to attune to a ring of protection. Oh, no, but you do. You do. I don't know. I'd have to look later. But yeah, we're pretty much just going to be haggling with prices right now. So we can haggle with prices. In the meantime, I'm going to probably end here. That way Jace can catch up before your meeting with your other person. Since he has 3 days to catch up and he's not here. And if you want to haggle prices and things like that, as much fun as I have role playing randomly generated shop people, I can negotiate with you outside of the game. He does not. Mm. He never said he was in it for the money. That's something y'all have to talk about next time. All right. So you're back in the city of Shard in the merchant country of Rus. And what do you guys, the last thing is, what do you think you're going to do next? Besides buy magic items, apparently. That's not what I meant. I meant like after you get paid and you buy all the magic shit you want, what is everyone in this 5 people of the party thinking they want to do? That's what you need to think about throughout the next week. You don't have to tell me right now. Think about what your character wants to do and how they convince the other characters to do it.
Wait, when you say casino, do you mean start a casino or rob a casino?
But that's kind of that's how we'll start like next session. It'll be about what's your character, where do they want to go next now that they've become rich adventurers and more powerful, and how are you going to convince the rest of the party to do it with you? I don't think so. Levels are probably going to be few and far between. Exactly. All right. Let's